Hi guys, this is Abby, also known as Kat. Happy New Year to you. I'm so excited to get this year started. Can you believe it is the year 2020? It's just so crazy. I can't believe it's 2020. This year, I turned 30. It's so crazy to even say that. I remember when my older brother turned 30, I was like, oh my God, he's so old. Joking, Giovanni, you're not old. You're not old. It's just crazy. Like I don't know, the years went by so fast. I'm now married for 10 years and I'm just so blessed with my life. Last year was very crazy. It had just a roller coaster of emotions and so many things that had happened. If you knew from last year, so not 2019 but 2018, I had a very scary health scare where they thought that I had possibly cancer. It ended up being hyperplasia without atypia. Atypia meaning like atypical cells. So luckily it wasn't that, but it was a crazy thing that had happened to me, and it really put, I don't know, like it made me scared. It made me emotional. Even though it wasn't like the worst case scenario, it's still something scary to go through. And the kind of illness that I had, it's internal, so you can't really see it on the outside. You can't, you look at me and you think, oh, there's nothing wrong with her, she's absolutely healthy. So not a lot of people understand that. And it wasn't until May of last year that I got cleared, which was super exciting. So if you follow me on Instagram and my stories, you knew when that had happened. So thank you again for everybody who reached out, who followed up with me to see how I was doing. So that all of those really kept me going and helped me heal from that. It took me a long time. I know around fall, I ended up feeling like those same worries because fall of 2018, I felt like I was on top of the world. I was following my goals and my dreams and reaching a lot of them, and just felt great overall, healthy, strong, emotionally, physically, spiritually, everything was great. So then to be like kind of like side blinded with that was just eye-opening, and it took a long time to feel confident in myself again and to feel that sense of security. So last year I didn't do as many YouTube videos, I didn't do as many craft projects. I kind of just needed that time to heal. So if you had been following me on YouTube and were wondering, hey, what's going on with this girl, or on Instagram, oh hey, she's posting more personal things or other things than her crafting, which is what I followed her for, what could be going on. So you kind of know that I was going through those things, and for all of you that had stuck with me throughout all of that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. For those who have continued to support me in whatever I do, I really appreciate that. If you don't know that by now, if you haven't been following me for very long, I have very many interests and I want to provide those all to you. I want to show you everything about me, and you know that I'm a very open book. I will share everything that I can, all my emotions, everything that I'm going through, because at the end of the day, if it helps at least one person, then it makes it all that worth it. But I'm so pumped. I am so ready for 2020. I'm ready to turn 30, to bring my A game into this. Like I said, I'm healthy now. I have medication keeping me healthy. And let me just tap in a minute into what hyperplasia without atypia is. So I have always struggled with my hormones. So if you're uncomfortable with that, you don't have to listen to this, but since I was 16 years old, I always had issues with my cycles. They would either be non-existent or last for weeks on end. I went as far as having a year without any cycles. And all of that really affected me into adulthood. I took it serious. I went to specialists and all that once I was older, once we were trying to have kids. We went to fertility specialists, we were on medication and stuff. 2015, I kind of just had enough of it. Emotionally, it takes such a huge toll on you, and it really tears you down. Like, it makes you feel, at least myself, less of a woman, because you feel that you're supposed to be able to have children. That's kind of what your body is created for, is to have children and to have that vessel. And so to feel that part of me that is not functioning the way it should be, it took a huge toll on me emotionally, and at times I still get emotional about it. I'm a lot better than where I was. I can, by the grace of God, I can handle those situations a lot better and move forward. But I did need to take that time away. Like from 2015, I needed to just stop going. And so I didn't really take care of myself. I went a long time without having a cycle. So then I ended up having things like polyps, which scared me. Like I was too scared to go into the doctor's office. They told me, hey, we can't give you your normal PAP until you go and take care of this polyp. Well, I let even more time pass by and more happened. So then finally I was able to go to the doctors once I was able to be brave and hear whatever news they had to share. Their goal was to remove those, which they did. And then I was going to go in for a hysteroscopy. And basically what that is having a camera go in and see what could be going on. I chose to go under for that. You could either have it in office or go under and have it outside the office at a facility. So I decided to go under because I was kind of scared, and I was hoping that they could get more done if I was under. When I came to, it was emotional. You know, sometimes when you come out of being under, you can get really emotional. And then I was told that they couldn't move forward because there was just way too much going on. They had spoken to my husband, and he was really worried. And when he saw me emotional, he was worried that, you know, we were told that we couldn't move forward with having a family at all, and that our worst dreams had come true, where I would have to have my, I would basically have to have a hysterectomy. So basically have everything removed. But they talked to us, and they said that they needed to do a biopsy, which they had already gotten the specimen, and to make sure that I didn't have cancer. And this was right before Thanksgiving, so I was very emotional. The week of Thanksgiving, I get the call from my doctor saying that there is cell growth that is abnormal. And she didn't say it like clearly enough, so I was scared that she said that I had cancer. I went through the whole Thanksgiving of 2018 being terrified, not knowing what my future was like. You know, basically telling my family that, it was very hard. It was emotional. I was worried that that could have been my last holidays with them. And so I was put through a lot of fear. But it wasn't until we went to speak to the doctor the week after Thanksgiving, and I told her what my fears were, for her to be clearer about what was going on. She apologized and said, no, you do have hyperplasia, but it does not have atypical cells. So it's not cancerous, you're not precancerous. And so that made me, it was a relief, but I was also like, you could have just told me this over the phone and I wouldn't have been so scared. But it was still a thing that we needed to overcome, and her goal was to get me healthy. So we did that. I would go into biopsies every 3 months. This was last year. And to make sure that the medication that I was on, I had to be on medication to get, and then I also had to have an IUD put in, so that basically regulated my hormones and made sure that I cycled regularly. And that was a whole nother thing. Having artificial hormones when you have, from 16 until now, had been going without really having normal hormones, that becomes your normal. So when normal hormones are put into you, it kind of throws everything. You know, your body doesn't know how to deal with that. Like, mentally, it really affected me. I felt very emotional, mood swingy. I felt like I had no energy. I gained a tremendous amount of weight. I'm talking about like 30 pounds. And I just didn't feel like that drive that I used to have. I didn't feel like myself. Thankfully, in May of last year, I was told that I was clear. I didn't have to do any more biopsies. I got the IUD removed because I wanted that thing out of my system. That was a foreign object in me that I didn't want. I had it removed, and then I was told that I had to take medication every 45 days to have a cycle. You know, after I had a took a pregnancy test to make sure that I wasn't pregnant. That was also hard because I hadn't been taking pregnancy tests for years, because every time it would be a negative and that would affect me. So having to take this test every 45 days was hard. It was very hard. It was kind of bringing back that opening up that old wound, and just every month just being like, okay, it's not. I'm not gonna lie, there was times where I was hopeful. I was thinking maybe this was it. You know, even my husband thought that maybe after I had this thing removed, this condition that I had, it would open up the doors. Unfortunately, it didn't. The year went by, and you know, we didn't get pregnant. But now the goal is for us to do IVF, which I'm gonna go over in my board. But I needed to catch you guys up if you didn't understand what was going on with me and how it could affect me and my work. I know that I'm not going to school right now. I know that I don't have a job right now. This is my job. This is my life, and I want it to be my life. So for a lot of people, it was confusing. Like, she has all this time and she doesn't, you know, do enough with it, or at least that's what was going on in my brain. And that's another thing that I have to work on, is to not allow myself to feed these negative thoughts into my head. But I felt it, even though if it's unspoken, you can tell when someone has questions like that. So it was very hard, but dealing with that, it was hard, but I'm also very grateful, because I was told by a friend that my greatest accomplishment was getting healthy last year. If I didn't meet all my goals last year, or wasn't where I thought I needed to be, God put me where I needed to be, and that was being healthy again and not having the risk of cancer, given the chance again to try to get our dreams of having our own child, you know, biologically. That is a great accomplishment, and I'm grateful for 2019. It was hard. I noticed that it was hard for many people. I felt like the end of the decade, everybody was just like, and now we can all breathe a sigh of relief because we have a new fresh start. And I am so excited. I am beyond excited, because there's a lot of goals and achievements that I want to accomplish this year. So I'm going to share that with you guys. Thank you for listening to that. I really appreciate it. And if you're going through something similar, just know that take it one step at a day, one step an hour, even not even a day. I know it can be challenging, but you can do it. You can do it. And if you ever need someone to talk to, reach out to me. My email is down below in the description, or my Instagram. You can send me a message on there. I'm always here. No matter what, I will always respond to you if you have any questions. If it's with this, if it's with crafting or anything like that, if you just want someone to talk to, reach out to me. I'm always there, because I know what it's like to feel lonely. I know what it's like to feel as if you're the only one going through what you're going through, but you're not. There's so many out there, and I've had so many messages in regards to that. Countless of you guys just being brave to sharing your testimony with me, or your current situation, and I appreciate that tremendously. So again, yeah, I'm always here. But after all that, let's just go ahead and get started, and I can show you what I'm so excited for this year. Okay, so now that the hardest part is over, catching you up on where I have been this past year and a half, now I want to share with you my board and my goals for next year. Or not next year, sorry, this year, 2020. So first of all, it's a very large board. As you can see, I ended up repurposing the one that I used last year, because there's no sense in buying a new one if the old one is perfectly fine. All I did was take off all my old goals, all my old pictures and quotes, repainted the board in blue, because that's what I'm feeling this year. It's just a nice tranquil blue. So that's what I went with. So let me go ahead and show you. And I'm probably going to show you like a section at a time, because it is quite large. So this is my board. As you can see, I did paint it in this very like pretty sky blue. It's very tranquil, and kind of what I'm feeling for this year, just tranquility and peace, which will help our odds for our IVF journey. So this is my second year doing a vision board, and also my second year picking a word for the year. Last year it was focus, so a year to focus was 2019. This year it's a year of growth, and I decided to add some flowers here, you know, just make it your own. I think if you make it fun and just decorative, you're more likely to look at it, and you know, it's more your style. So, you know, that is one of my tips for you, is when you're creating a board, just make it attractive to your eye, to what interests you. So yeah, so I added frilly things and bling. But here in the center, so the way I divide mine, so it depends on what kind of board you get. I have a trifold. It really helps to kind of like put sections of areas in my life. So I have the middle part, which is the largest, and then I have two, the folding parts. The middle part is just basically quotes and everything that I want to have in my life. So it's mostly focusing on me because, like this quote says, the best project you'll ever work on is you. And that's absolutely true. Nobody else is going to take care of you better than what you do. You know what you need. You know what your soul needs. You know what you need to grow and to achieve, and what areas you need to grow in. That's all on you, and you need to really reflect on that to know what you need to focus on. So start off first choosing a word that really encompasses every area of your life. Growth for me is why I chose the word growth is because it's every part. So growth in learning, growth in my social media, growth in my family, growth in spirituality. So it just really means a lot in many different areas. So for this center part, again, it's just basically all for me, different quotes. Hello 30. Yes. Hello 30. I am so excited for this new decade. So it is a new decade for everyone, but it's a new decade for me personally. In August, I will be turning 30 years old, and I'm very excited. It's really interesting, you know, like I don't feel 30, but I'm also mentally, like, I have done so much growth. So I am so ready for 30. I'm so ready for what it's gonna bring. My 20s were amazing. I met the love of my life. We've had an amazing life. So my 20s were incredible, and I'm so ready to be a mom in my 30s. So yeah, so hello 30. I have the world was hers. So yeah, you know, you go out there, you create your own world and you go for it. She has that girl boss hustle because I am a girl boss, and I'm, you know, running my own business, my own platform. Create happiness. So you're in charge of your own happiness. Nobody else is. Your husband isn't. Your spouse, your significant other, your mom, your siblings, they're not in charge of it. You are. So you create your own happiness. If you get tired, learn to rest, not to quit. So that's absolutely true. This was me last year. I took the time to rest. I didn't quit. But you need to remember that because it's hard. Sometimes you feel like a failure, but it's okay to be tired. Just take a moment to recoup and then come back. I've got this. You got this. You absolutely do. I'm constantly evolving. Hopefully you guys can see all these. I'm constantly evolving, and that's true. Always, always. If you're not growing, you're dead. That's true. No matter if you're trying or not, you are always growing. You are always evolving. The struggle is part of the journey. So the struggle is part of your journey. And that's absolutely true. Remember, if you play small, you stay small. It's okay to want more, do more, and be more. So always reach big, reach for the stars, reach for the moon, reach for the universe, reach for as far, it's limitless. You can go as far as you want to. Work it out, go the extra mile. So this is with everything, with your health, with your goals, keep working. She was brave and strong and broken all at once. And that's such a beautiful quote because it's true. All of us, for everyone, you can be everything. You're not just broken. You're not just strong. You are many different things. Strive for progress, not perfection. That is definitely something that I need in my life because you always feel like you want to be perfect. You want to reach that level where it's 100%. But you're never going to be perfect, and that's something that you need to learn to accept. You can always keep growing, but perfection isn't a reality. Do something good, so continue to give to others. I absolutely love that and believe in that. Progress maker, I love that. Some of these are from magazines and some I printed. Your future looks rosy because you're worth it. Rosy meaning like in the health and everything. And then this last one here, look around, you already live in the magic you're searching for. And I think that's beautiful. I love that quote that I found in a magazine. And then, so yeah, that's the middle part. It's just basically about my personal journey and my growth. And I think you definitely should have that in your board. It should be the biggest part because you're the most important thing. And then we'll go over to this area first. So this section over here is basically my brand, my business, my baby. This is my baby. This is what I want to grow. So I have a couple quotes and a couple goals that I want to achieve. This quote up here says, create, take risk, live your passion. And I love that it has the cross for the T, because God is in everything, at least for me. If you, whatever you may believe in, you have to have something to be hopeful in that helps you strive for that. And for me, that's God. And then I have hostess with the mostest. As you know, if you follow me on Instagram, I love hosting. If you know me personally, you know I love hosting. And then next year, or this year, keep saying next year, this year, I want to host a retreat, and I'm already working with that, and there's girls that already know about that, for my 30th birthday, so it's going to be donut themed. And then here is just basically a woman working busily in her office, and that's my goal for this year. This is a cute little sticker that says, share your passion, share it with the world, because there's only one you, and you're the only one that can do it the way you're meant to do it. Made with a whole lot of love. So that's absolutely true for all of us creators. You put your everything into what you do. I have just a couple fun stickers. 10,000 inspiration. So yeah, that is my goal this year. It was last year's, but I told you what I went through. So to reach 10,000 both on Instagram and YouTube, it's what my goal is for this year. And I know I can achieve it with your love and support. So much goes into who I am. That's absolutely true. If you know me personally, you talk to my husband, I have so many interests. They're everything to me. I have a lot that I love. Here is just basically kind of like a scrapbooking store. I would love to do classes this year and to be brave to do that. So that's why I have that here. I have another girl boss one, running my own business. Fun cat. Yes, I strive to be fun. And then grand opening, so having my Etsy store. I basically am rebranding that because I did have one. It's just rebranding it and to what I am now. And then of course getting a new phone. I love you phone, but it's time to do an upgrade. So saving up for that. And then finally in this panel over here, this is my my goals on the bottom, and then IVF, and that is my #1 goal this year above everything, because it has been 9 years in something we've been really praying for. So it says up here, I have a few different quotes. It says, no great love ever came without struggle. And I didn't have any pictures, but my brother convinced me to put a picture up there, and I ended up putting a beautiful pregnant belly, because that is the goal, you know, it is to be able to have a baby, biologically. So I put a big pregnant belly here. Wishes can't wait. They cannot, and you need to go out there for them. So doing IVF is up to us, up to me and my husband, and I know we're gonna achieve it. Health is magnificent, so all this is going into eating healthier and giving us the best chances for IVF. So health is magnificent, becoming a mother, it's about time. Hashtag food is fuel. And that's my #1 thing this year is fuel. Food is meant for fuel and not for pleasure. There can be pleasure in eating well, but my main goal is to just have the best chances for IVF. Detox your body every day. And then I love this quote. It says, IVF got this because IVF got this because giving up is not an option. And they crossed out the F and put an E, so I've got this. And I put a little rainbow, and it has a syringe. And the rainbow, because this, you know, the rainbow is what your goal, your dream. It's the after the storm, the calm after the storm, and the beauty that you're gifted. And then I have think positive, talk positive, feel positive. So it's all about being positive and not having those negative thoughts that I tend to have a lot throughout this whole journey. And then the final part of my board is my goals, and I usually do about 10 goals every year. The first goal is eat nutritiously for greater IVF chances. So I'm not going to be too harsh on myself. It's just eating nutritiously. It's not about looking good. It's about feeling good and knowing that you're doing the best that you can for yourself. #2 is weekly videos. So I hope to see you every week on here. Number 3 is work on dolls / commissions monthly, 3 minimum. So if you saw on my Instagram, I already have my 3 commissions for this month. I have 1 already for next month, so I have 2 more openings for the month of February. But I think that's very motivating, and I'm so excited for that. And it all helps to reach our goal, because it is costly to do IVF. Number 4, lose 10 pounds at minimum. I'm not going to be too harsh on myself. Last year I put 30 because, you know, going through the hormones and all that, I gained 30 pounds. Luckily I did lose 10 last year, so if I lose 10 this year, it would be great. But I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the journey of being healthy. Number 5, save up funds for IVF / check trip, 10,000. Yeah, so that's actually very minimum compared to what people pay. That's why we're trying to go to the Czech Republic to have IVF over there abroad, as it's more affordable with trip and everything. Here, it would be at minimum $20,000, and that's almost unachievable. And unfortunately, the health coverage here that we have in California doesn't cover it at all, which is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, because it's not like a cosmetic thing. And not that you want to be going through this. So yeah, that's a whole nother thing. And then number 6, read 5 books, whether it's for health, business, IVF, etc. So whatever I want to grow in my life this year. Number 7, achieve 10,000 supporters. You can do it. So I know I can. With your support and your love, I can reach that, and I'm so excited. As long as I can remain consistent, God willing, health stays well, I am wanting to achieve that goal this year. Number 8, celebrate my 30th birthday to the max. Because yes, you only turn 30 once, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have a few things planned for that. Number 9, lead a class creatively. Reach out. So yes, I would love to host classes. If you have any ideas as to where I can do that, whether it's here online or in person, I would love to host a class, whatever it may be. If there's something that I do that you would love to learn, let me know, and I think it would be great to be able to host a class about that. And number 10, be brave and expand creative exposure. So that goes with number 9, just, you know, putting myself out there. So I'm super excited. I hope you enjoyed my board. Like I said, it is super big. Look at that. I love it though. And now that I have my crafty room, I can actually display it and look at it, because you're more likely to achieve those goals if you're seeing them constantly. So yeah, I will definitely be putting my board up in my room. Thank you so much for watching this. I know it was super long, but if you stuck through it, I appreciate you so very much. And if you have any questions, let me know, send me a message. I'd be happy to answer them. And I appreciate every single one of you. I am so excited for what this year brings. And if you have any goals you want to share with me, leave a comment down below. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you turn on those notifications so you know when I put my videos up. And I wish you all a wonderful new decade, new year, and go out there. You can achieve it. Bye, guys.